What's up, you Chad Poles? Today we're bringing you the top 5 Contractors VR maps for the week of July 14th. With an overwhelmingly large mod selection, I'm here to help you sort through the good, the bad, and the ugly, so you know what's worth the download. So let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Starting in at number 5, we have Peach's Castle from Super Mario 64 as, you guessed it, a zombies map.
Joy! No power!
Now, as somebody who doesn't really read and just kind of download stuff based off pictures, I was super surprised when I logged in. But honestly, it was a fantastic surprise. This was actually really fun. These are the kinds of happy little mashups that mods are made for. And it works. They add this super dark fog over everything that kind of gives an eerie feel, and they have the sounds from Call of Duty Zombies as opposed to Mario music. Looking around, I couldn't find any like weapon caches, but there were a couple doors that I could buy. I think the extent of the map is pretty small, sort of limited to a few rooms inside and this little outdoor area. There's a couple little glitches like these 2D invisible fences that were honestly kind of annoying. And then this well that I fell in, I legitimately could not get out of, and that was a bit of a game breaker. But besides that, get some friends together, and this is a good time.
Stop talking to me! You are all getting so close! You will die now!
And coming in at number 4 is Light Cycle Grid from the movie Tron Legacy. Now, I am a huge fan of the movie and the soundtrack by Daft Punk, and this map has everything, and it is gorgeous. I mean, it's really a dream come true to like be in this location, and they have the Daft Punk soundtrack absolutely blasting. But let's be honest, as a map, as like its gameplay, it's not very good. It needs some help. Okay, because it's just the light cycle grid, right? You're supposed to be driving bikes around this, so for a shooter, it doesn't work very well. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to take cover. I mean, they're just planes, right? You're just 3 stacked planes on top of each other. There's no alleys. There's nothing here in terms of like gameplay. However, though, it is super pretty to look at and super atmospheric. I mean, the lightning is going off every so often, and even though there's like an annoying glare on the ground when it does, if you're looking up when it does go off, wow. I did end up getting like a speeder bike. The Clone Wars mod was the only thing I could really think of where you could get a vehicle like that. And honestly, it was a good time like riding around. I had fun, but I don't know. In terms of like vehicle combat, I wouldn't really bank on it. And then everybody's got to get kills in order to get it. And it seems sloppy. But hey, at least it's a cool map to look at and just like to jump in and enjoy the ambiance. I hope maybe whoever made this down the line can make something like the disc arena. I think that would be really cool where there's all those floating arenas, and I feel like that would feed better into the Contractors gameplay. And in at number 3, we have Severance by JJ4 VR. I'm actually going to be bringing you 2 maps for this one. There's the original map that's inspired by the TV show Severance. It's got this cool, overgrown, post-apocalyptic feel. And then there's an 80s synthwave inspired remake of them. Both of them are out right now. And I actually really like these 2 maps. They are claustrophobic. They have all these dizzying corridors. You're constantly looking left and right. There's really no other map right now that has such close quarter hallway combat. And what I really appreciate is there's so much attention to detail, especially on the 80s one I really liked. Like, I was in the middle of a firefight and suddenly heard Ace of Spades. And honestly, I really appreciate the little things like that. I think some of the lighting in the original Severance map, the classic one, was a little lacking. You can see some of the differences in some of the panels here. I definitely am leaning more towards the 80s one, but regardless, I see myself playing these maps a lot in the future. Up next is Cloud City from Empire Strikes Back. Now, I don't recognize this map from any old Star Wars games, but if you do, let me know down in the comments, because I've never seen it before, and it is a good time. It is full of long range and short range engagements. It's super pretty. It's got the Vader and Leia themes playing all throughout. The textures look good. I think the skybox could use a little bit of work. Obviously, this water looks like shit. But overall, there's a lot of high and low places to shoot from. This is definitely a take cover and pick people off type of map, except for these little corridors here. And the map even comes with its own carbonite freezing room. And what I think that they're trying to imitate like where Luke gets his hand cut off here, right? I mean, look, it's no secret that I'm a sucker for a Star Wars map. I think the one downside is I do think that it is a bit on the larger side, much like the Endor map, where it's too big even for ground wars. So if Contractors could add even more people, it would be great, because we have all of these little weird nooks and crannies that are huge and could be a good firefight, but there's just a lot of map. This is a great place to bring out those speeders, like if you're into that sort of thing. I mean, me personally, they're a death trap. I don't know why anyone in their right mind would get onto one of these things. I mean, the bots wouldn't even let me play the game. Like, I just want to play. Before we get to number one, here are a few honorable mentions. Now, I'm not a huge TF2 player, but they did add 3 new maps: Viaduct, Lumberyard, and Well. These are all direct ports, and they look great. I found a small little glitch in Viaduct that kind of made me fall through the map, but besides that, all 3 of these maps were fantastic. I absolutely love the textures of the walls. The trees look a little crappy, but who cares? But I adore the quality of the spinning ammo and health stuff. I mean, I don't know why. It's just gorgeous to look at. And secondly is this awesome map, Star Wars Flight School. Now, this is the first attempt at what looks like space combat in Contractors, and it's a bit janky. It's in third person, which honestly, as a seasoned VR veteran, makes me super dizzy. Like, you can move forward and stuff, but as soon as you start rolling, oh boy, it's tough. Like, I definitely recommend sitting down for this one. And I've recently been playing Star Wars Squadrons, which is in the cockpit, and have no issues. So if they could get a cockpit in there, that'd be fantastic. But besides that, it's really cool. You can just walk up to any ship in the hangar and get in by using this little egg in the back. And you can fly it in and out of the spaceship. You can land, get out. The camera angle is a little bit off. It's like off to the side a little bit, so it's a bit strange to see. But I hope in the near future we can get closer to that true Star Wars Battlefront nostalgia of getting in a ship, flying to another one, getting out, and then getting into combat. And sitting at number 1 this week is Avalanche from Halo 3. Now, nostalgia aside, these Halo 3 ports, I mean, they're just so clean. The maps themselves are fantastic. In my opinion, Halo 2 and Halo 3 have the best map design in history, so they just play well. And they're ported over so cleanly. The textures look great. The trees are pretty decent. The snow looks fantastic. And even all the classic sound effects are here. But honestly, what blew my mind is the first thing you notice when you walk out is this flaming halo, and you could see the fire all the way up, and it is crisp and clear. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, like, I stood in awe of this cavern for a good 2-3 minutes, just looking at all the textures and the details, the lights in the ground. And then the gameplay is great. Good mid to long range gameplay. I mean, it's a Halo map. You know what you're in for. The only downside is that the little boosters are invisible. Like in other maps, they have like a little blue hue of like the plasma or whatever. But at the end of the day, the map plays great, it looks great, and that's what keeps people coming back.